Hurricane Milton slammed into Venice, Florida, with a force that no one could have anticipated. The once serene and picturesque coastal city found itself at the mercy of nature's wrath, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Streets that were once bustling with life were now submerged underwater, and buildings that stood tall were reduced to mere skeletons of their former selves. On that fateful day, the tranquil coastal city was transformed into a scene of chaos and devastation. The winds howled like a beast unleashed, and the rain poured down in torrents, flooding every nook and cranny. The storm's fury was relentless, testing the limits of human resilience and forever etching its mark on the community. The buildings shook under the immense pressure, and the very ground seemed to tremble. The once familiar streets were now unrecognizable, littered with debris and fallen trees. Cars were overturned, and power lines dangled precariously, adding to the sense of danger and urgency. Homes were reduced to rubble, their foundations compromised by the relentless onslaught of wind and water. Families were left homeless, their possessions scattered, and their memories washed away. The air was thick with the smell of salt water, and the sound of sirens pierced the eerie silence that followed the storm's passing. Emergency teams worked tirelessly, navigating through the thick fog and mist to reach those in need. In the aftermath of Hurricane Milton, the people of Venice faced the daunting task of rebuilding their lives in their city. Neighbors came together, lending a helping hand to clear the debris and start the long process of recovery. The storm served as a stark reminder of the awesome power of nature and the importance of preparedness in the face of such unpredictable events. It highlighted the need for better infrastructure and emergency plans to protect the community in the future. The road to recovery would be long and arduous, but the spirit of Venice remained unbroken. The community's resilience shone through as they worked together, determined to rebuild and restore their beloved city to its former glory. The bonds formed in the face of adversity would forever strengthen the fabric of this coastal town. Hurricane Milton's path was one of uncertainty, keeping meteorologists and residents on edge. The storm's erratic behavior made it difficult to predict, causing widespread anxiety and concern. Meteorologists worked around the clock, analyzing data and updating forecasts, while residents anxiously watched weather updates, hoping for the best but preparing for the worst. The storm intensified rapidly in the Gulf of Mexico, catching many off guard with its sudden surge in strength. What started as a relatively mild system quickly grew into a powerful hurricane, with wind speeds and pressure changes that left experts astonished. The rapid development over the warm ocean waters was a stark reminder of nature's unpredictability and power. Initially, it seemed that Venice might be spared the worst of the hurricane's wrath. The serene coastal city, known for its picturesque beaches and tranquil atmosphere, appeared to be outside the storm's projected path. Residents went about their daily lives, albeit with a sense of unease as they monitored the storm's progress. However, as the storm churned closer to shore, its track shifted, putting Venice directly in its crosshairs. The sudden change in direction left little time for additional preparations, and the sense of urgency grew. The once distant threat was now a looming reality, and the community braced for impact. The National Hurricane Center issued dire warnings, urging residents to evacuate immediately. Emergency alerts blared on phones and televisions, and news broadcasts emphasized the severity of the situation. Authorities stressed the importance of leaving the area to ensure safety as the storm's potential for destruction became increasingly apparent. The once clear skies darkened ominously, and the wind howled through the streets, signaling the impending danger. Trees bent under the force of the gusts, and the atmosphere grew tense. The city, which had been bathed in sunlight just hours before, was now shrouded in a foreboding gloom.
The storm surge, a wall of water pushed ashore by the hurricane's force, proved to be particularly destructive. The sheer power of the waves crashing over seawalls and inundating coastal areas was a sight to behold. The surge not only caused immediate flooding, but also left behind a trail of debris and damage that would take weeks, if not months, to clear. It inundated low-lying areas, flooding homes and businesses that had never experienced flooding before. Streets turned into rivers, and neighborhoods were submerged under several feet of water. The aftermath was a stark contrast to the peaceful scenes that had characterized the area just days earlier. The unpredictable nature of Hurricane Milton served as a stark reminder of the importance of heeding evacuation orders and taking all necessary precautions when facing such a threat. The storm's erratic path and rapid intensification underscored the need for preparedness and vigilance. As residents evacuated, boarded up windows, and emergency personnel mobilized, the community's resilience and determination shone through, highlighting the human spirit's ability to endure and overcome even the most formidable challenges.
The residential areas of Venice bore the brunt of Hurricane Milton's fury. Homes were ripped apart, their roofs peeled back like tin cans by the ferocious winds. Windows shattered, sending shards of glass flying like deadly projectiles. The storm surge, reaching unprecedented levels, inundated neighborhoods, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Inside the homes, furniture was tossed about like toys, and personal belongings were scattered amidst the debris. Walls crumbled, ceilings collapsed, and floors buckled under the weight of the floodwaters. The once cozy abodes were now uninhabitable, leaving families displaced and uncertain about the future.
The emotional toll on residents was immeasurable. The loss of their homes, their sanctuary, their sense of security was devastating. Many had lost everything they owned, their lives turned upside down in a matter of hours. The road to recovery would be long and challenging, but amidst the wreckage, the spirit of resilience began to emerge.
Section 4: Crumbling foundations, infrastructure in the wake of the storm. Hurricane Milton wreaked havoc on Venice's infrastructure, crippling essential services and hindering recovery efforts. Roads were impassable, littered with debris, downed trees and power lines. Bridges were compromised, some partially collapsed, cutting off access to certain areas. The storm surge had inundated the city's power grid, leaving most of Venice in darkness.
The lack of electricity hampered communication, making it difficult for residents to connect with loved ones or seek assistance. Hospitals and emergency services struggled to operate, their resources stretched thin by the overwhelming demand.
The city's water and sewage systems were also severely impacted. Flooding contaminated water supplies, making it unsafe to drink. Sewage lines backed up, creating a public health hazard. The breakdown of critical infrastructure posed significant challenges to the recovery process, highlighting the vulnerability of even the most developed communities to the forces of nature. Section 5: Economic hardship. Venice struggles to rebuild. The city of Venice, known for its vibrant culture and bustling economy, now faces an unprecedented challenge. The aftermath of Hurricane Milton has left the community grappling with severe economic hardship. The economic impact of Hurricane Milton on Venice was profound, affecting businesses and individuals alike. Streets once filled with shoppers and tourists are now scenes of devastation, with debris scattered and buildings damaged. The storm's fury forced businesses to close their doors, some permanently. Storefronts that once bustled with activity now stand empty, with for sale signs marking the end of an era for many local entrepreneurs. The tourism industry, a vital part of Venice's economy, came to a standstill as hotels and attractions were damaged or destroyed. The once thriving beaches and landmarks now lie in ruins, devoid of the visitors who once flocked to them.
Small businesses, the backbone of the local economy, were particularly hard hit. These enterprises, often family-owned and operated, found themselves struggling to cope with the extensive damage. Many lacked the resources to rebuild or reopen, leaving their owners and employees facing an uncertain future. The emotional toll on these business owners is palpable as they confront the loss of their livelihoods and dreams. The loss of income rippled through the community, impacting families already grappling with the personal losses caused by the storm. Temporary shelters have become a refuge for many as they await assistance and a chance to rebuild their lives.
The cost of rebuilding was staggering, with estimates reaching billions of dollars. Entire neighborhoods were left in ruins, and the scale of the destruction is almost unimaginable. The federal government pledged financial assistance, but the process of accessing those funds was often slow and bureaucratic. Many residents found themselves entangled in red tape, waiting for the help they desperately needed. The economic recovery of Venice would be a long and arduous journey, requiring collaborative efforts from government agencies, businesses, and the community. Local leaders are working tirelessly to develop recovery plans, and the spirit of resilience is evident as the community comes together to rebuild. Despite the challenges, there are glimmers of hope. Volunteers have begun the painstaking work of rebuilding homes, and community fundraisers are helping to support those in need. Slowly but surely, some businesses are reopening, bringing a sense of normalcy back to the area. The road to recovery is long, but the people of Venice are determined to reclaim their city. Community events and gatherings are starting to bring people together, fostering a sense of unity and hope for the future. As the sun sets over Venice, the city stands as a testament to resilience and determination. The journey to rebuild is far from over, but with each passing day, Venice moves closer to reclaiming its former glory. Section 6, a community-united Venice rises from the rubble. In the face of adversity, the people of Venice displayed remarkable resilience and a spirit of unity. Neighbors helped neighbors, sharing food, water, and shelter with those who had lost everything. Volunteers from across the state and beyond poured into Venice, eager to lend a helping hand.
The American Red Cross established shelters, providing temporary housing, food, and medical care to displaced residents. Faith-based organizations mobilized their resources, offering comfort, counseling, and material assistance to those in need. The outpouring of support, both local and national, provided a beacon of hope during a dark time.
Amidst the devastation, stories of courage, compassion, and selflessness emerged. First responders worked tirelessly, putting their own lives at risk to rescue survivors and provide aid. Ordinary citizens performed extraordinary acts of kindness, demonstrating the true meaning of community.